The screen flickers once like a pulse in a dying heart monitor, then steadies. You're not even sure why you clicked. Maybe it was the headline. Cheap, clickbait, outrageous. Or maybe it was something else. A strange, skin-prickling instinct. You can't explain. Now the frame stabilizes and what you're looking at doesn't feel like a video anymore. It feels like surveillance, like a feed that's not meant for anyone, especially not you. And yet, here you are, frozen, breath caught like a glitch in your chest, watching a moment no one supposed to remember, let alone relive. Your gut twists as the camera holds steady on a body lying face down in the street, hands behind his back, breathing shallow. He doesn't resist. He doesn't move. His eyes are open, glazed with something older than fear, something like betrayal. The officers yelling don't see it, but you do. That's when the voice comes. Not from the speakers, but from inside. You, a memory you've never lived, whispering a question that shouldn't exist. What happens when the one they hunt? Where's the badge they fear? The timestamp says 2:43 p.m., June 11th, but time feels wrong here. Warped, slowed, like the air itself doesn't want this to unfold. A suburban intersection in Winston Heights, Georgia. Quiet, sun-baked, lined with identical, trimmed hedges and porches where no one dares to step out. There's a stillness so sharp it cuts. You don't see who called it in. You don't hear the beginning. All you get is the middle. Two officers, both white, both shouting, faces red, with a kind of anger that doesn't come from threat, but from certainty. The man on the ground is black. His suit jacket is ripped at the shoulder. His wallet is in pieces on the curb. And there's a badge among the torn leather. A gleaming shield tucked beneath a photograph so clean it hasn't hit the dirt. The younger cop, maybe 30, looks like he's waiting for a fight. The older one is sweating in the shade. He hasn't blinked since the badge fell. You lean in. Not out of curiosity anymore, but necessity. Because something's wrong. Deeply, cosmically wrong. The man they've got cuffed hasn't said a word since they brought him down. But someone did. The body cam audio is fuzzy, distant, but in the silence between shouted commands you swear you hear it. A voice, impossible to place, whispering only one word. Chief. Just once. And only once. But loud enough to change the room you're sitting in. Loud enough to make your spine lock. That's when the officer nearest the fallen badge bends to pick it up. Slow, unsure, like he knows what it is but wishes he didn't. His fingers hesitate inches away. Then a radio crackles. Dispatch, we've got... The younger cop doesn't finish the sentence. He's staring at the ID now, his lips parted like he just bit down on a ghost. The silence on the radio isn't dead air. It's listening, waiting. Then another voice, colder, official. 10:33, all units stand by, confirmed identity, Chief Daniel Miles. Repeat, Chief Daniel Miles. Stand down. And just like that, the air goes still, like God held his breath. The cops freeze. One stumbles back, shoes scraping pavement. The one holding the badge drops it like it's burning through his skin. For a second, they don't look at the man they just pinned to the ground. They look at each other, and it's not fear, not guilt. It's something worse. Recognition, as if they've seen this exact nightmare play out before. Not on a street, corner, but in their bones. Daniel doesn't speak. Not as the cuffs come off, not as they stammer apologies and reach to help him up. He only stares straight ahead, as if he's looking past the moment, beyond the frame of the camera, into something the rest of us can't see. His eyes flick toward the cruiser's dashboard cam, just for a second. And in that second, your whole body tenses, because he knows. He knows someone is watching, he knows you are watching, and the look on his face is not surprise. It's sadness, the kind that says, you were never supposed to see this, but now that you have, there's no going back. You scrub the video, replay the moment the badge hits the sidewalk. Again. Again. Something in your gut screams that you missed something. And then it happens. Just before the younger cop reaches for the badge, In the corner of the frame, a woman walks by pushing a stroller. No one notices her. Not the officers. Not Daniel. Not even the dispatcher calling in the name. But she pauses, only for a second. The baby in the stroller points toward the street, toward the man on the ground, and speaks a name, clear, unmistakable. Ezekiel. You blink. Rewind. The moment is there, clear as sunlight. A name never mentioned. A name not on any ID. A name that makes the woman freeze like her blood just turned to glass. She jerks the stroller away, like the voice didn't come from her. Child, but from something crawling just beneath his skin. You don't sleep that night. You lie in bed thinking about the name, Ezekiel. You Google it. Police databases, news stories, baby names, Bible verses. All of it spirals into a mess of static. Except one thing. A local story from 1989. Small headline. Young black officer. Disappears day before promotion ceremony. His name was Ezekiel Miles. No body ever found. No leads. No suspects. Closed quietly. Filed under missing persons, last seen in Winston Heights. You stare at the screen. The pixels feel like they're breathing. That can't be right. That was 36 years ago. Daniel Miles doesn't have a brother. No mention in the records, and yet his face, well, it looks like a ghost's reflection in a different mirror. Slightly older, worn down, but unmistakably the same. The next morning, the video is gone. Not deleted, erased, every trace scrubbed like it was never there. Your cache, empty. Your downloads, corrupted. The folder where you saved the clip won't open. Just a gray square with a symbol you don't recognize. Your browser won't load Winston Heights anymore. Keeps looping the same error message. Location unreachable. Then, as you're about to shut down, your screen flickers. Once, twice, then an image loads, not from the internet, from somewhere inside your machine. A single frame, grainy, low resolution. Security footage, a hallway, empty. Then a figure appears, walking toward the camera. Slow, deliberate, closer. It's Daniel. Only this time he's not wearing a badge. He's wearing the same clothes from the 1989 disappearance article. The timestamp says June 11th, 2025, 2:43 p.m. The door behind you creaks. You're not alone, and the baby was right. His name was never Daniel. His name was Ezekiel, and he's not missing anymore. The door creaks again, not wide, just enough for a sliver of hallway light to bleed into the room like a warning. You freeze. Every inch of your body knows the sound shouldn't be real, that you locked that door twice. You remember doing it. You can feel the key still in your pocket. But memory is slippery now, like trying to hold water with trembling hands. The screen in front of you goes black. No shutdown sequence, no noise, just gone. You listen, waiting for something, anything, to break the silence. But it doesn't. The silence grows. It listens. You take one cautious step toward the door. The wood is cold, unmoving. Maybe it was just the wind. Maybe the sound came from the speakers. But then why are your palms sweating? Why is your chest tight, like you're remembering something you never lived through? You blink, and suddenly, it's not nighttime anymore. The lamp's still on. The laptop's still closed. But daylight streams through the window like time fast-forwarded. Without your consent, you stumble back, hands trembling, phone in hand. It says Friday. But the video, Daniel, Ezekiel, the badge, it happened. Yesterday. You'd swear it. You felt it. So why are you still wearing Tuesday's shirt? Why do your fingernails look different? Before the spiral can take you further, there's a knock. Not loud, almost polite. But it carries weight, like the hand. Behind it knows exactly who you are. You hesitate, then open the door. A man stands there. Maybe early 40s, calm, tired eyes, blazer too clean for the heat. He smiles. An apology curled inside a greeting. I'm looking for someone, thought. You might be able to help. His voice is low, steady, but there's something else, something under it, a vibration you can't place. You ask who he's looking for. He doesn't blink. Daniel Miles. You laugh, too hard, too fast. You tell him that's not possible, that you don't know anyone by that name, that it was just a video, something you saw online, nothing real, just pixels, just noise. But he doesn't leave, doesn't flinch. He was my partner, the man says, back before everything got erased. He pulls out a faded photograph, two. Officers, arms over each other's shoulders, young, proud, alive. One of them is unmistakably Ezekiel. The other is this man. Only, in the photo, the date at the bottom reads 1987. You ask his name. He hesitates. Paul, he says, too fast, like he had to reach for it. Paul Jennings. But something doesn't sit right. He doesn't speak like a man born in the 60s. He has a smartphone clipped to his belt, a smartwatch on his wrist. You ask how that's possible. His face goes quiet. They kept me in a room for years, said I was a threat to national stability, that what I remembered wasn't real, but it was, and you've seen it too, haven't you? He leans in, eyes narrowing. That's why they're watching you now. Your blood goes cold. You shut the door halfway. Who's watching me? He doesn't answer. Instead, he pulls something from his coat pocket, an audio tape, real, analog, dusty and worn like it survived things you wouldn't believe. Play it when it gets quiet again, he says. When the lights flicker, that's when you'll hear it. Then he walks away. Just like that. You don't want to play the tape, but you do. The first 30 seconds are static. Then a voice, faint, familiar, crackles through. It's you. You're whispering something you don't remember saying. They found the tape. They know the name. He wasn't supposed to come back. The baby knew. The baby knew. Then another voice joins. Not yours, not Paul's. A woman. She's humming. A tune you half remember from a childhood dream that never had an ending. It gets louder, sharp, then silence. You yank the tape out. The room feels colder. The shadows longer. Your reflection in the screen is delayed by a full second. You check your texts. Some are missing. Threads cut mid-conversation. People you don't remember texting you. Screenshots of messages that show your name but aren't. In your phone's memory. One message stands out, no contact, just, stop digging. He was never Daniel. You were never you. You call your friend, Nora. You trust her, you think. But she answers and calls you by a different name. Nick? Is that you? Jesus, where have you been? You try to correct her. But she keeps talking like you've always been Nick. Tells you the department's been looking for you. Says you left 6 years ago after the Winston Heights case went cold. Says she saw you lose yourself after Ezekiel vanished. Says you wouldn't. Stop digging even after the court sealed the records. Says she warned you not to go back. You hang up. Your hands won't stop shaking. You're not a cop. You've never been to Georgia. You were just watching a video, weren't you? That night you hear the tape playing again. Even though it's locked in the drawer. Even though you unplug the player. You hear the child's voice again, too. Ezekiel. And then the hum. You check the mirror. For just a moment, it's not your reflection. It's him. And he's mouthing something you can't hear. Yet, the daylight that filtered through the cracked blinds felt like a promise. Soft, unthreatening. Almost like the calm after a storm you hope is really over. You sat at the kitchen table, the old photo Paul Jennings gave you spread out before you. Fingers tracing the faded edges as if you could pull the past closer, hold it steady. The tape, the strange voices, the vanishing, the whisper. Everything was starting to line up. You were finally seeing the hidden truth. The pieces falling into place with the eerie precision of a puzzle, assembled by a hand that knew you'd be desperate enough to solve it. You weren't crazy. They lied to you. You felt it in your bones. You'd spent days digging through public records, online archives, shadowed corners of forums where paranoia wasn't a bug. It was the only feature. And then, beneath layers of digital dust, you found a report. Official, cold, and clipped. A case file from decades ago about a police chief in a small Georgia town, Ezekiel Miles, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The report detailed his last known day, the The strange phone call that sealed his fate, and most chillingly, an unsolved allegation of racial profiling involving officers whose names now felt painfully familiar. The officers accused of arresting him had been quietly reassigned or resigned in the following months. The file was closed, the records sealed, and the public told it was a case of mistaken identity. A tragic accident, they said. You felt the weight of history settling on your shoulders. This wasn't just about Daniel or Paul or the whispers in the tape. This was about a pattern, a legacy of silence and hidden violence, the kind that erodes trust like acid. And you, unknowingly, had stepped into the middle of it. Then, in the depths of that long night, you found a photo in the archives. Grainy, but unmistakable, a young Ezekiel Miles standing next to a woman whose face was turned away, caught mid-laugh, the kind of candid moment that no staged photo ever captures. But it wasn't her face that gripped you. It was the baby in her arms, a baby with eyes too wide, staring straight into the camera with a knowing that no child should have. A baby whispering a name. Your name. You blinked and the kitchen blurred, shadows pooling like ink. The past was breathing, alive, reaching out. Your phone buzzed, a single message lighting up the screen from an unknown number. Look closer. This isn't about Ezekiel. It's about you. You wanted to believe you were close to understanding, to unlocking the door to everything. But then came the knock. Not polite this time. Urgent, jagged, like a warning wrapped in fear. You opened the door to find no one. Just a note slipped under the frame. A sliver of paper with 3 words written in a shaky, unfamiliar hand. Remember who watched. That's when the walls seemed to lean in. The air thickened like molasses, heavy with the weight of unspoken things. The safe distance you'd kept from your own memories shattered when the phone rang again, this time with static and a voice so close it felt like a breath on your neck. It said only one sentence before the line went dead. You were here when it started. You staggered back, heart pounding, mind spiraling. The room grew colder, the shadows moved, and through it all, a feeling, deep, primal, that something had been watching from the beginning. Not a person. Not a thing you could point to or name, but a presence. A silent observer threaded through your memories and your fears, pulling strings just out of sight. Shaping reality so subtly you only noticed when it was too late. You scoured your own past, trying to find where the lines blurred, where the memory glitches began. There was a night you'd buried deep, a night full of muffled screams and the sharp crack of breaking glass. You remembered fragments, your mother's face pale and terrified, a man's silhouette disappearing into the dark, the cold floor beneath you as you hid, heart pounding so loud you thought it might betray you. You had always chalked it up to childhood nightmares. Now you realized it was something else, a truth too dangerous to confront. The deeper you dug, the more the puzzle unraveled. Faces you thought you trusted blurred into strangers. Voices you relied on twisted into echoes of doubt. The safe ground beneath your feet became quicksand. And then, just as you let out a breath, convincing yourself this was all a terrible but solvable mystery, your phone buzzed one last time. You opened the message. A single image. It was a screen. Capture. Your own face staring back at you from the very first video you saw. But something was wrong. Your eyes were empty, soulless. Behind you in the shadows stood a figure, impossible to see clearly, yet undeniably there. Watching, waiting. You realized with a sinking dread that you had been watching the story all wrong. The victim wasn't just Ezekiel or Daniel or even you. It was the story itself, and it had been watching you from the start. As the screen flickered and the message vanished, you sat frozen, heart racing, mind screaming the same question over and over. What if the truth you found was just the lie they wanted you to see? You're not alone. That's the first truth no one's brave enough to admit out loud. The darkness that's been creeping through your days, threading itself through your memories and dreams, is not unique to you. Others are out there, watching, waiting, and quietly communicating in the shadows you never saw coming. They send cryptic messages through glitches in old broadcasts, hidden symbols on abandoned walls, and dreams that bleed into waking moments. So real that when you wake, you can almost swear you heard their voices whispering your name. You weren't just chosen to uncover this. You've been pulled into something far bigger, a network of fractured souls bound by the same unraveling thread, and you, somehow, impossibly, are becoming part of their story, their warning, their fight against a force so insidious it warps the very idea of identity itself. They call themselves the Watchers, or at least that's what the faint codes you've pieced together suggest. An underground current flowing beneath the surface of the world you thought you knew. Their messages come disguised as static, hidden in found footage from 20 years ago. Recordings the government never released, but someone leaked anyway. These fragments pulse with a strange energy, a rhythm that tugs at your mind like a secret. Heartbeat you've always been deaf to until now. You see the same faded symbols cropping up in your dreams, a spiral carved into bark, a black triangle reflected in a cracked mirror, a blurred face you can't place but feel drawn toward. They seem meaningless at first, but they aren't. They're warnings, signposts, clues that what you believed about yourself, about your memories, about reality itself is crumbling under the weight of something watching, waiting, controlling. It's the kind of thing that seeps into your thoughts when you're alone, when the silence presses too close and your breath feels shallow, too loud. When you look in the mirror and catch a flicker of someone you don't recognize, someone who's been watching you, whispering half-truths, erasing pieces of your past and rewriting the rest. What if every choice you thought was yours, every memory you held as proof of your existence, was carefully curated to keep you distracted, compliant? What if the people you loved, the moments you treasured, were just part of an elaborate story told to you by a voice you can't quite hear, but always feel watching? In the midst of this fracturing reality, a new perspective emerges. Someone on the outside, or maybe just on the edge. A figure who calls themselves Eli, though you aren't sure if that's a real name or a code, has been watching too, but with a clarity you don't have. Eli's voice is low, almost a murmur carried on the wind, and they claim to be the only one telling the unfiltered truth, a truth so raw it hurts to hold. They don't offer comfort or certainty, only fragments. You were right all along. The truth you seek was never meant to set you free. It's a chain tightening with every step you take. Their messages come in bursts, screenshots of unmarked documents, footage of places you've never been but feel hauntingly familiar, numbers and letters that twist into codes only some can crack. They warn of watchers behind watchers, of puppeteers, playing with memories like they're pieces on a chessboard. You try to push it away, to cling to the life you thought you had, but it's impossible. The more you learn, the less you trust your own mind. The line between who you are and who you were, told you are blurs until it's impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. Was that quiet moment in the park real? Or a memory planted to make you doubt your own eyes? Is the voice on the tape from a friend, or something designed to lure you deeper into the labyrinth? Every new piece you uncover folds back on itself, revealing a maze without an exit. A conspiracy so vast it makes you question everything, including your sanity, and still, the watchers wait. Patient, silent. Their presence is everywhere, but never quite within reach, like a shadow that moves just beyond the corner of your vision. They want you to find the truth, but only so they can watch how you handle it. Are you a pawn, a player, or something else entirely? The question hangs heavy in the air, unanswered, as the symbols in your dreams begin to bleed into your waking world, and Eli's voice echoes one final, chilling promise. This isn't the end. It's only the beginning. And with that, the screen flickers, the message disappears, and the silence closes in once more, leaving you to wonder what part of you was real to begin with. The weight of it all crashes down in a moment so quiet, so raw it feels like your own skin is folding inward, exposing every scar you thought you'd buried deep. This isn't just about puzzles or shadows anymore. The mystery isn't the who or even the what, it's the why. Why was your reality fractured like glass? Why were your memories rewritten? Why did they keep you in the dark? And beneath it, why does the truth feel like it could either shatter you completely or set you free in ways you never imagined? The answer isn't out there in some grand conspiracy. It's inside, tangled in the fragile, aching core of what it means to be human. You stand at the edge of a choice that has no clear path forward. To embrace the darkness of what's been hidden, to confront the truths no one wanted you to hold, or to retreat back into the comforting lies that once defined you. Every instinct screams to turn away, to forget. But there's something deeper. Something, in the trembling ache behind your eyes, that knows the cost of running is greater than the pain of facing what lies beneath. You remember the confession you never dared to say aloud, the one that whispers like a ghost in your mind. I was broken before they came for me. I was lost before the Watchers even noticed. Maybe they didn't steal my past. Maybe they just found me where I already was. It's a revelation so vulnerable it tears open the space between what you believed and what you feared. The fear isn't just external anymore. It's woven into your bones, a question of identity, trust, and survival. To accept the truth is to risk losing yourself, but to deny it is to live forever trapped in a dream you never woke from. And isn't that the cruelest mystery of all? That sometimes the hardest battle isn't out there with unseen forces, but inside the shadows of your own mind. The Watchers, the symbols, the secret voices, they are reflections of the fractures inside you, reminders that control isn't just about power over others. It's the fight to control who you are when everything you thought was real slips through your fingers. And in that terrifying moment, you realize the story you're part of isn't about stopping something or solving a riddle. It's about what you do when the foundation beneath your feet is gone. How do you choose to stand? How do you hold on to your humanity when the lines blur, and the truth isn't a weapon or a key, but a mirror showing you everything you were too scared to face? So here you are, on the brink, not with answers, but with a question so profound it refuses to be ignored. What does it mean to be truly awake when the world around you is built on dreams? The screen darkens, your breath slows, and in the fading light those words echo like a fading heartbeat, a call to anyone still watching, still searching, still wondering if there's something beyond the veil waiting to be understood. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for stories you were never meant to hear. Until next time, remember, some truths don't want to be found.